Callie Davis came with that rebound. Jensen leaves it back for Anger, and it won't drop. That ball saved in by Van Dyke, and a bump and bucket for Kylie Chessman.
But how about the play by Jada Van Dyke, Dusty? This ball is going out, and Van Dyke with an impressive save. No look, nonetheless, to Chessman, able to finish off the glass.
Deseret News Rewind is presented by Harriman and Associates, a full-service law firm dedicated to winning for you. Call them now for a free consultation. Welcome in Deseret News Rewind. Dusty, Litster, Dane, Stewart, as always, presented by Harriman Associates, brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard.
Yeah, and if you have any sort of legal need, right? Maybe you've got a dispute with a neighbor, you've got some business contracts you got to work out, or maybe a living will and trust. There's no better place to check out than Harriman Associates, full-service law firm, locations throughout the state of Utah, and they'll give you a free consultation. Call them 801-754-4240.
And as always, we talk to you about what next step in life, if it's at school, if it's for your work or your career. $20,000 either in a signing bonus or in tuition assistance with the Utah Army National Guard. Go check it out at nationalguard.com. All right, let's get into the girls' video this week. And the opening statement brought to you by Harriman and Associates. While we were there, we saw a very, very fun game, Harriman and Riverton.
Boy, what a game. And this was one that, Riverton really, really sneaky. And this Region 3 is so deep. When you think about Bingham and Copper Hills and Harriman with just one loss on the year to Skyridge, they atoned that just a couple weeks later, got a win. And, one of the interesting things, talking with Coach Smith, he said, that was kind of like a region matchup for us. We lost the first matchup, weren't quite certain what to expect, got them the second time, and hey, this was the first matchup for them going up against Riverton. And he said to us before the game, this is one of the more difficult matchups for us. They've got a lot of length, and they can disrupt a lot of things that we like to do. And, this was a Riverton team that fell down. They kind of hung around, and then the fourth quarter, Avalon Miller really showed up, and they got some key contributions from others. But it was a fourth quarter takeover by Riverton. They trailed heading into the quarter, able to come back, salt this ball game away, and Riverton picks up a big win in region. Hands Harriman only their second loss of the year and their first loss in region play.
Yeah, hard-fought game, very physical game, and they were able to withstand it and get the W. So congratulations to Riverton. We'll keep our eye on what's going on in Region 3. We'll have a little bit more to talk about. How about Region 1? Fremont, Dane, just continuing to run through the region. Yeah,
they do. And we've talked about how good they are. And, there are other teams in this region. Davis had a really impressive win tonight over Layton. That Layton team got off to a strong start. They've dropped a couple now. How about Syracuse? This Syracuse team, they had a nice win over Davis. And then tonight they played Fremont. They lost that game, 61-47. But, and I don't know how that game played out. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but you lose by 14, you hold Fremont only 61. Feels like that's a matchup where maybe Syracuse can do some things differently next time around to, give to compete, be in that ball game late against Fremont. But the Fremont Silver Wolves are definitely the team to beat in Region 1. I think they proved that tonight. They've proved that up to this point in region, beating everyone they played.
That'd be very interesting to watch what happens there. Region 2 continues to be a two-team race. Hunter and Taylorsville 3-0 and 2-0 in Region 2.
Yeah, how about Hunter? Maybe the win of the week, getting a win over West Jordan. We like that West Jordan team. Right. We've talked about West Jordan, but it was Angel Louie, 13-9 for the Hunter Wolverines in a 40-32 win over West Jordan. Taylorsville with a nice win against Kearns this week. They also beat Cypress this week. You mentioned two-horse race. That's what it looks like here as we're nearing the end of the first round of region play.
Region 3, either you're 2-1, where you're not quite in the picture. Now, that's not to say that Jordan can't bounce back either, but everyone at 2-1. And we already talked about Harriman and Copper Hills, but Bingham an up and down week as they fell earlier in the week, and Copper Hills as well.
Well, how about this? I mean, Bingham goes and gets a nice win at Copper Hills, and then they play Harriman this week, and Harriman beats them 47-36. Now, I'm not surprised that Harriman beat them. Harriman's good enough to play with them, but you hold Bingham to 36? Who's the last team to do that, right? And Callie Davis in that game had 13 points. Lexi Jensen had 13. All of those for Lexi coming in the third quarter. She outscored Bingham on her own in the third quarter. This Harriman team, we talked about they lost to Riverton. They got a lot of pieces, and we saw that this last week. I know in a losing effort, but this Harriman team really good. Going to be interesting to see what they have for Riverton that second round. I kind of alluded to that earlier, right? But there is a lot of parity in Region 3. And, hey, you're going to have to pack your gym bag every night.
Well, how about Region 4? Skyridge 2-0. Got a big win tonight against Westlake. And Falcons looking better and better every week.
Yeah, had a nice win over Corner Canyon this week as well, 86-57. Blackham had 28 points, hit 4 threes. Holland had 16 points, hit 4 threes. that's what Skyridge does, and they continue to put up a lot of points right now in region play, looking really good. You mentioned, Lone Peak got a nice win this week over Westlake, 43-28. Conley had 13. Leroy had 10. This region 4, another one with great parity top to bottom.
Well, not only that, a dominant win against American Fork tonight, too, 54-35 for the Lone Peak Knights. And so Coach Nancy doing a great job. Is Lone Peak looking as strong as they've looked in a long time in region play. Let's go to 5A now in Region 5. How about Farmington and Viewmont, both undefeated?
Farmington with a tight 33-31 win over Woods Cross. They only scored, I think, 2 points in the fourth quarter, but able to hold on for a win over Woods Cross. How about Bountiful as well? Had a nice win this week over Bonneville. It was 24-22 at half, and then Bountiful went on a raid in the second half, won that game 61-43. Jordan Harvey had 26 points, 14 rebounds in the win for the Braves.
Just in Region 6, just when I don't think it's going to be East World, well, they're 5-0 going into tonight's play and a big win against Olympus.
Yeah, and that win, I mean, Falatay had 33 points for the East Leopards. Didn't see Alyssa Blank in the box score, so I'm not quite certain what happened there. Obviously, that would be a big loss for Olympus if she wasn't there. But then the crazy thing is you turn around and you have East lose to Skyline on Friday night. And so, boy, this East team had a couple early losses to some powers in the state, right? And then got in region, felt like, oh, they've got things sorted out. They're going to be a favorite in 5A. And how about the big win tonight for the Skyline Eagles?
Absolutely. And Highland continues to roll right along as well.
They had a loss this week to Hillcrest, though. Surprisingly, I didn't see that coming because this Highland team, we've talked about Glasgow and how good they have looked, 49-34. Hillcrest had 21 free throws in that ball game. Amanda Means scored 21. Glasgow had 14. Longy with 10, but Hillcrest with a nice win. Highland did beat Murray as well this week. So, again, 1-1 on the
Everything's
week.
bonkers.
I know.
Everything
feels that way.
With everyone already in the playoffs, I think the edge is just off. I'm going to mention that every video, probably every week. Region 7, speaking of rolling right along, the Pioneer children sing as they walk and walk and walk. 6-0 in region play. 15-0 on the season.
63-47 over Timpview. That was a big win for Lehigh. Timpview was kind of that team that was still undefeated in region play going into that ball game. Madison Warren, 22 points at 4 threes. Macy had 15 points, 3 with 11 for Timpview in the loss. Lehigh then beat Timpanogos this week as well, 56-34. And how about Jaden Marcon? Look, we talk about the Warrens. When someone else leads them in scoring, you got to mention it, right? Marcon with 20 points, and, Madison had 19.
Well, Region 8, we talk a lot about Maple Mountain. We talk about Springville. Maple Mountain and Salem Hills are 4-0 and 5-0 coming in tonight.
How about Maple Mountain with a 53-49 win over Spanish Fork? Nelson went 14-13. Liggett had 13 in the win for the Golden Eagles. And Salem Hills with a 47-42 win over Provo this week. Brooke Vance went 17 and 18 rebounds in the win.
Well, let's take a look at some other schools as well. How about Cedar City? Always go straight to Region 9. A 70-29 win over crosstown team rival in Canyon View, and then I played Crimson Cliffs tonight.
How about a little closer matchup? Grantsville and Judge, Dusty, and this was a matchup that I was like, gosh, do we maybe try to get out to that one? We couldn't make it work with our schedule. Grantsville with a 55-53 win over Judge Memorial. Sidbury had 23 points in the loss, but for Grantsville, Mason White 23 and 15. Ashley Edwards scored 16 points, hit 3 threes, had 11 rebounds and 7 steals. What a night for Ashley Edwards in the win for the Cowboys.
How about Ridgeline? Talk about the boys, talk about the girls. Got a win 54-44 over Bear River. And then last night, knocking off Skyview 43-36. And for Ridgeline, I mean, that's as good as it gets for them. But it was Braylee Jinks with 14 points, Emma Anderson with 10 points, Haley Anderson with 9 in the win last night.
How about Snow Canyon with a nice win this week over Dixie, 53-49, I believe. Tylee Jensen, 18 points. Olivia Harris, 16 points. Nice win there for the Warriors.
South Sevier, we talk about the boys. How about the girls? South Sevier gets a 54-47 win over Richfield this week. It's a big win for the Lady Rams, and they were led by Kelly Brindley with 14 points, Presley Chappell with 19 points, and Kinsey Jones with 10.
Hey, sometimes you just need a little bit of motivation, right? Well, a loss to Carbon will do that. How about Emory this week? Had a huge win over
Great
Grand.
win, Emory.
We're not going to get into that, but Emory scored 89 points in the victory. Haley Allred had 24. Cook had 18. Sparta with a bounce-back week.
Oh, the Dinos get that win over Emory. How about they do this week? Beat San Juan 53-50, and then win another one 84-15.
How about that? The win over San Juan. Carbon, 3-point win, 16 of 17 from the line. That's how you do it. Free throws are free, folks. You had Bianco with 20, Sacamano with 17.
Morgan 4-0 in region play, and the Lady Trojans continue to be impressive as well. Another always good at girls basketball.
Yeah.
Well, there's other teams we're missing. Hit us up on Twitter. Sure, there are, but we just needed some help. Needed you to be our research team as well. But hit us up at D News Rewind, at Dane Stewart, at Dusty Lister. For Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching Deseret News Rewind on Deseret.com.